Hi, Sandy here. I just finished my 30-second glue book. I started in 2017, so it's only been about 4 years since I've been doing glue books. And I'm going to do a flip through of my latest one, which is about nature, but I impress myself, I'm telling you. I like to make these, which are mostly 25 sheets of paper covered on both sides, and then I bind them myself. So they're usually 50 pages, and I surprised myself. I have 25 of these that I have made. Now this one, my daughter and I made this together. A friend of mine gave me a bunch of magazines for my glue books, and there was 2 brides magazines. So I put some fancy beads on it, and I cut the edges with some fancy scissors. And we just went through and put all the pretty brides in there. And I got Mickey Mouse and Friends. I collect Mickey Mouse. I got scrapbook paper, calendars. So I decided to make something. And I like to make subjects. I made this one with my brother. He's 62 and he's got learning disabilities. Been living with me a long time. We made this together, and we put Cars, the movie, on every page, along with other things. And then we made this one. This was the first one we made, just about cars. He had some car magazines. He wanted to cut them up, and we made this together. I like vintage cars. Mary Englebright. I had a children's book, and a calendar, I think, and I just put a Mary Englebright on each page, along with miscellaneous other stuff. Victorian. This is where I started out. This is Victorian 4, Victorian things, Victorian 3, and I put calendar pages usually on them for a cover. This is a large piece of scrapbook paper, but I like the edges smooth, not a lot of stuff glued on there, because I slide them onto the shelf, and I started out doing that, and it would bump and rip things loose. So we got, this is Victorian 3, Victorian 2, I believe Victorian 1 was the first one that I made. These are calendar pages on the cover. I love Victorian stuff. And then Victorian decorating. I had a lot of pages from decorating magazines back in the 90s. Victorian decorating was very popular. And I'm almost sorry I made this book, because I used up a lot of my pictures of rooms, which I like to use in my Victorian rooms. And but I used them all up in this book because I felt like I had too much. Anne of Green Gables. I also had a children's book of her. I printed some pictures from the internet. My daughter and I had found some movies on VHS, and we watched them. We just loved them. This is my favorite, Holly Hobby. I had a lot of Holly Hobby calendars. I collected them back in the early 80s. I had like 8 of them, and I used those. And I started making Christmas books, Christmas 2020. I buy Ideals magazines, and there's all kinds of Christmas stuff in there, packaging, all kinds of stuff. Christmas 2019, just more of the same. Christmas 2018, more of the same. My stack's getting gross. I measured just this type. It's like 16 inches tall. People. My daughter and I made this one together, and she wanted some children in there and things. These are ads. Yeah. So my daughter and I made this one together. Vintage people. These are like from the 50s, Victorian, any era. And then dogs and cats. Had a lot of dog and cat pictures. When I do something, I think I just go a little overboard. Oh, and then this one is my trash journal. I literally went into my recycling bin and I collected cereal boxes, junk mail envelopes. This is the only... I watch a lot of videos on people making journals, and they put in all these pockets and fancy things. And this is my only one that I've ever made like that. I don't know. There's a cupcake box. So I covered the background of every page. There's green beans with the trash. And then I added some pictures. But this is a pretty interesting book. In mass, that's where you do, like this is a multicolor page, dogs, squirrels, birds, dishes, ice cream, birds. I got a lot of birds, owls, cars, bicycles. You can do a thing, repeating thing, or, okay, benches, green, blue, purple. So there's that en masse, and this is en masse 2. I just named them the same things and add a number on the end because I keep making the same subjects. There's food, candy, shoes, black, red, purple, green, bugs, butterflies. Randomness. I do like making randomness. Just that this is anything goes. When you start collecting a lot of random things, you got to get them used up. So, like this one is just a full page ad for these cars from a classic magazine, an old magazine. So you don't have to add. You can make one page of just solid one thing. You can do whatever you want. These are clothing tags. This is from a Barbie calendar. Just random stuff. And things come loose sometimes. That doesn't bother me. Randomness 3. Randomness 2. Oh, you can't see the stitches on this one. Randomness 1. Yeah, you can see them here. I forgot to flip this one open, give you a quick peek. Just anything. And then randomness 1. See, this is where I stitched it together, and then afterwards, this is white duct tape, and I put some glue on there, and then I just wrote it in with Sharpie pen, the names. So this is the Texas Roadhouse from the top of the takeout box. You know, your leftovers, and I colored on that. That's a foam. Just random things. Okay, and then this one, most people make them from pre-existing books, and this is the only one that I have made with a pre-existing book. And I took out some pages, and every page is a diary. Every page was a full picture on this side, the way the book came, with some writing on there telling where the garden is from. And I covered that up. And then this side of the page was where you would write your diary or daily stuff. And I just made a nature type collage on this side. And then this one I just previously... Nature Garden 1. I need a drink. I'm getting out of breath. I had so much birds and flowers and landscapes and outdoor stuff, butterflies, that I made this book. This is a scrapbook with the blank pages, and I filled them all in. This is all nature. I've done a flip through on all of these books. You can probably find them on my YouTube channel. I should have made categories, but I didn't. And then this one is Take 5. I had a ton of landscape pictures, a lot of cars, a lot of people, a lot of birds, a lot of flowers. So every page has those 5 elements plus anything else, no rules. So I did this. Car, people, landscape, birds, and flowers on every page. This was kind of fun, and I'll probably do another one when I accumulate a lot of things. Glue books, they're just my thing, I'm telling you. Then this one was my first. I bought this book years ago thinking, well, I can glue my stuff that I'm collecting for glue books in here, just so I can flip through and find things, but I ended up making a glue book. This is a Victorian. This was the first big book that I made. So now my friends are giving me these big books, these old vintage scrapbooks, and I'm filling them in. And then we've got this one. I think there's 7 of this type of book, including this one, I think. Yeah. So there's 32 books that I have finished. I got this upside. Victorian, another Victorian book. Yeah, Victorian is my favorite. So I got 3 Victorian treasures of this. Yeah, and Holly Hobby. I love Holly Hobby. I'm running out of Holly Hobby. All those years of calendars that I collected. So that's Victorian. And another Victorian. I call the big ones Victorian Treasure and the smaller ones just Victorian 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, this is, I just love making these glue books. So that's 36. And this is the one that I just finished, Garden Nature 2. And I'm going to clear all this stuff off my desk and I'll be right back. Okay, it barely fits. I can't move the book because it just barely fits in my camera range. I'm going to try not to talk a lot. But I use calendar pages, stuff cut out of magazines, stickers, calendar pages. I used a lot of calendar pages, a lot of full page pages out of magazines. This is a greeting card. I used some greeting cards. Holly Hobby. Just filling it in with any old thing that fits outdoors. These are the goldfish from an ad. These are sheep, I believe. That's a greeting card. Scrapbooking stuff. Printed from Pinterest. Greeting card. From a magazine. Printed from Pinterest. Turtle sticker. Like left part on there that doesn't belong. There we go. Put a little hat on this bird. There's bunnies. A beehive. A house with a bicycle in front. Very nature-ish. Nature-ish. I just made up a word. This was a greeting card. I didn't do a lot of theme. I just mixed and matched. But for this one, I made a kind of a rose theme. I had this. It said coming up roses. Calendar page. Roses. I did add a butterfly. Rose. A lot of roses. There's a bird. Yeah, it kind of made a rose themed page. Just mix and match and stuff as usual. Add a lawnmower, cats, garden tools. This picture is kind of odd. It's dark in the forest and it's got this thing. It looks like a ball of yarn or something. And here's a lady. That's her arms. Kind of hard to see, leaning up against a tree. I thought it was kind of spooky looking, so I have a lot of Halloween stuff. I thought I'm going to use up something out of my Halloween stuff, and I put that on there. I have a magazine from 1967, I think it was. And this was a 3-page fold out. There was 3 sections, and I put all of those in there. I added the bug stickers and these. There's a lawnmower, birds, flowers, bird houses. This page, I have a lot of little things, and I should have made more pages like this with lots of little things on it. There's a cute bird pulling some yarn. I just really enjoy looking at these books. I added a dog here to this patio scene. I'm going to have to glue that on better. That keeps wanting to come off. I added a squirrel sticker with some acorn stickers. I've used up a lot of stuff in these books. I feel like I'm recycling, saving stuff. There's another section of that ad. Oh, 1972. Sell March 1st through April 15th, 1972. That's when that's from. That's almost 50-year-old ad. I was around back then. I was about 12. There's bicycles on the beach. I didn't do a lot of ocean, nature, because I live right here in the Midwest, and I don't feel it. I do love the ocean. I've been there. But yet I've got these, like, the Grand Canyon, that's what it looks like. It might not be, I don't know, but I do like that. These are off a greeting card. This is off a greeting card. Landscaping, butterflies. Here's a little scene there. Very vintage. Two kids in a doorway with a garden outside. Holly Hobby with a house and a vegetable garden farm scene. Birds. I like my pages colorful and interesting, and we've got that. These two are both from greeting cards. More Holly Hobby. I just glued this dog on there. I think it looks pretty good there. This book took me, I think I worked on it for a while and quit for a while and got back to it and finished it up. I spent this weekend finishing it up. Took me maybe a month or more. I'm not sure. But I've been busy with life. I haven't made very many videos. So this is a greeting card. This is just scraps of paper. There's a cottage and a Victorian type garden. This was actually out of that diary, the English Garden book that I turned into a glue book. This was a calendar page. I didn't do much with it. I just added these down here. It's kind of bumpy because I used liquid glue. I used glue stick for the most part, but I used liquid glue on this because this didn't want to stick very well. Then I added some butterflies and this word butterflying. I hope you're getting a good look at this. I think you are. Hope it's not too out of range. This is out of a Boyd's Bear catalog, a figurine of a duck. Yeah, I got a few things coming loose. I'm going to have to go through and glue it down. As long as they don't fall out. They're right there. I could see them. Yeah, I just felt that come loose. I try to avoid using the cardstock on the edges. The outside edges, yes. The inside, no, because they need some flexibility. This is a large Boyd's Bear figurine of a fairy. That was a full page of the catalog, and I cut it out. I don't know, I just love birds. It's kind of a new obsession in the last few years, just because they look so good in glue books. Here's some odd looking fairies. There's a dog, and this is Devil's Tower National Monument in Wyoming. There's a beaver. More Holly Hobby. Birds and Blooms magazine. I get a lot of my stuff from those magazines. I never heard of them until I started doing glue books, and then I flipped through one at a thrift shop, and I, oh wow, that's a lot of good stuff in there. So I got them, and I've bought several since. This book, I counted 49 pages. Might be 50, I might have miscounted. So it's 49 to 50 pages. So covered on both sides, this is nearly 100 pages. I think this might be one of the largest glue books I've done. So I had lots of fairies on this page, just trying to use stuff up. Because I've made 2 of these nature books right in a row trying to use stuff up, and I still have a lot. I still do, but I like to use these in other pages, like this would be a background on a Victorian page. I can use butterflies and birds and flowers on Victorian pages. Nature. It's timeless. Here's a cute little bunny. I think that's from a greeting card. And the last page. So there's another glue book done, number 37. And there will be plenty more. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.